Morrowind is notoriously one of the hardest classical RPGs out there, and I've never played an Elder Scrolls game in my entire life. So will I be able to beat this game, or will I fail miserably? With the start of the game, we see strange text that looks like a prophecy. In the waning years of the Third Era of Tamriel, a prisoner born on a certain day to uncertain parents was sent under guard without explanation to Morrowind, ignorant of the role he was to play in that nation's history. Who would that be? Then female voice tells us that we are chosen and sent from Imperial prison straight up to Morrowind.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up. Stand up. There you go. You were dreaming. What's your name?
Then after some ASMR from Dark Elf with, I guess, throat cancer, we can choose a name for our character. I'll go simple. Vitalik is best suited Ukrainian name for fantasy RPG, so we are choosing this name.
Last night's storm could wake you.
Are you serious?
Say we've reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go.
Then guard tells us to follow him, and we finally can freely control our character. Why is there human bones? And finally, our first look at such a beautiful but strange world of Morrowind. We see a little town and giant, horrifying-looking insect that came from fog to eat you. After some quick character creation, I've decided to create a female wooden elf. It's time for our character's class, and there is 3 ways you can choose class. First one is the most pathetic, it's to choose class from list. Second, for nerds, to create your own class. And third is the most interesting one. It's basically autism spectrum test, and based on your decisions, game will select class best suited for you. Test is, to be honest, interesting. It is constructed not like, oh, would you rather cut off your left toe or throw a Khajiit infant into a pack of wolves. Instead, it offers interesting questions with a wide variety of answers, most of the time 3 or 4.
Your mother sends you to the market with a list of goods to buy. After you finish, you find that by mistake a shopkeeper has given you too much money back in exchange for one of the items. What do you do?
Pocket the extra money, knowing that shopkeepers in general tend to overcharge customers anyway. Stealing. My favorite activity in real life. Game told me that I am an archer, and I gladly accepted this class. Now game offers a start of the game bonus, but I honestly didn't want to spend more time on the character creation, so I choose a lady sign just because of its name. Okay, let's be a lady.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct.
After confirming that it is our character, we can finally move on.
Continue through to the next building and talk to Celos Gravius.
But before we talk to Celos Gravius, I'm gonna steal some things in this room. Truly humble under God, as we say in Ukraine. Oh, book. The Firmament by a Folk? What is this thing? The stars of Tamriel are divided into 3 things. What it says about lady. The lady is one of the warrior's charges, and her season is her fire. Those born under the sign of lady are kind and tolerant. Yeah, nothing like me at all. Now it's time for some learning mechanics of Morrowind, particularly lockpicking. Okay. What? I'm gonna eat my cap if I'm not gonna open it. I can't open it. Lock it. Lock level 1. Okay, I guess I'm doing something wrong. What? Yes, some good old RNG-based lockpicking. And it's only beginning. After increasing local theft statistics among wooden elves, we can finally move on. Oh, magical ring in a barrel. Great. Before leaving this place, we need to talk to this guy, Gravius. He welcomes us to Morrowind, then he tells us plenty of interesting things. Firstly, he tells us that we were released and brought here by command of the Emperor Aurel Septim VII, and that he has no clue why Emperor did that. And when I will leave this office, I will become completely free man. But before I go, I have a duty before Emperor. I need to bring package to mysterious man called Caius Cassarius in the town called Balmora. But I can find where he is only in South Wall Corner Club. Then he gives me 87 coins and a package for Caius Cassarius. I tried to read this letter, but I don't think I understand this language. Must be some kind of code, I guess. Now after we were released, we can finally explore game fully, and I start to annoy random NPCs, and dialogue with them is a really interesting thing. You see, you can ask them everything, literally about everything. You can ask them about their background, what they are doing for a living, ask for some advice or about recent rumors, and they will tell you. For example, let's take a commoner who lives in a lighthouse, Vvardenfell. She tells us that she is commoner, obviously. Next, she tells us that a local tax collector is missing. Or, for example, she tells us that in this town called Seydanin recently came strange people, and she thinks that they are smugglers and bandits.
How interesting. A tourist.
And another NPC shares with us more details about these bandits and points at their exact location near Silstrider's port. Yeah, that giant, horrifying creature from your nightmares is a Silstrider, and apparently Dunmers use it to travel. Then I ask this old lady for advice, and she shares with me information about some Daedra shrines and how I can recognize them. How do you recognize a Daedric shrine? Well, they've got long, funny names like Ashurni Bibi, Zaintrazi. But I wanted to focus on our first ever side quest in Morrowind. You see, we can meet another Bosmer, or how uneducated peasants call them, wooden elf called Forgoth. He tells us that Imperials took his family ring that has healing properties and asks us, haven't we found it? We lie and go to a local shop. There we meet Nord, who asks us to help him recover some gold. He tells me that he lost some money while he was gambling and tells me that they are gathering money from locals for protection, but Forgoth is hiding his money somewhere. He asks me to find Forgoth's hiding place, and I agree. Then I walk back to Forgoth and give him his ring in order to make him go to his hiding place. So far, Seydanin doesn't look like a safe place to live. You got bandits who literally created a base near Silstrider port, and instead of protection, Imperials try to gather more money from locals. That sounds dark. While I think how corrupted society is, I gather at the top of Lighthouse in order to find Forgoth's hiding place for his money. Probably money for food and his family. Pathetic. After a few hours of waiting, we see Forgoth going to his secret place. Seriously, can you go quicker? Now I know all of your secrets, Forgoth. Because I was really excited, I nearly died trying to jump off of a lighthouse and go to Forgoth's secret place. Oh, my ring and 300 gold. Sweet. But Seydanin already corrupted me, so instead of giving gold to Nord, who asked me, I'm gonna keep it to myself. and probably buy better equipment at local shop. After I improved my equipment, I've decided to clear Bandit's Cave near Silstrider Port, and here I can experience famous Morrowind's combat. Oh. Oh, it's a rat. Morrowind is a weird mix of RNG-based combat and regular action combat, so basically if you hit an enemy, just like in Dungeons & Dragons, game throws virtual dice, and based on numbers on dice and your character's skills, game decides either you hit or freaking cut off your balls out of emotional damage because you've missed for 101st time trying to hit a rat. Okay, no negativity, guys. As a real man, I wipe my snot and tears from my face and continue to move forward in dungeon. In this dungeon, I successfully kill every single bandit and smuggler and then free slaves. That was few Khajiits and a reptile. Then I found some skooma and moon sugar. After that, I returned back to town to sell loot from bandits, but trader doesn't want to talk to me because I have a skooma and moon sugar in my inventory. You will have to get rid of that moon sugar if you want any services from me. I don't want any trouble. So I've decided to simply drink all of the skooma and eat all of the moon sugar that I have. The game says that moon sugar has no effect on me. Okay. It's weird. I get something? Why is there explosion sound? Oh, my intelligence and agility decreased. To 0? After successful trading and upgrading my equipment, I've decided to finally move to Balmora to find Caius Cassadius. And here's another flaw of Morrowind, or at least for me, is your movement speed. It is ungodly slow. Even now, while I'm running and depleting my stamina bar, I'm still moving too slowly, and in order to increase my movement speed, I need to improve my athleticism. A random man just fell from sky, and on his corpse I found some sweet loot, magical sword, and a really cool hat. Also, he had a diary where he wrote that he wanted to create a spell that would allow you to travel in huge distances without using conventional traveling methods like Silstriders, and I kinda understand him. After some time trying to get to Balmora on my own, I've decided that I guess I'm gonna use Silstrider. In Seydanin, I find Silstrider Port, and its caravaner shares with me some details about Silstriders. They command Silstriders by directly manipulating exposed organs and tissues of Silstriders. Yeah, this game is amazing. And now we are finally in Balmora. But I've got too sleepy, and if you want to see next video about Morrowind, where I continue my journey, write comments, like this video, and bye.